Hello and welcome. You are watching I Know How.
First of all, a very big thank you to all the subscribers of my channel. It was a quick 300 subs for me. Hello guys, today I'm going to show you an ultimate guide on how to improve your battery health, which can save your battery from degrading quickly. I'm going to show you 20 steps with which you can improve your battery health.
Before we begin, please press the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for the instant updates.
For this video, I'm going to use my iPad, which has a iOS version of 14.2 and my iPhone, which also has a software version of 14.2. You can use these steps on iPad and iPhone, which has a software version of 14.2, and for other versions, you can still try these steps. Okay, so without any delay, our first step is activate low power mode. If you see on the iPad, go to settings and on battery, there is no option for activate low power mode. But if you see on iPhone, go to settings and then go to battery. You can see on the top it says low power mode. Enable that. What it does is it temporarily reduces background activity like downloads and mail fetch until you can fully charge your device. Second one, enable optimized battery charging. To do that, go to battery health, and at the bottom you're going to see that optimized battery charging is green. What it does is it reduces battery aging. An iPhone will learn from your daily charging routine, so it can wait to finish charging past 80% until you need to use it. You can also see maximum capacity on it, which is 100% at the moment. But while the time passes, this capacity reduces, which dictates your battery is aging. So that is the second step. Third step is settings about auto brightness, dark mode, auto lock settings. For that, you can go to settings, display and brightness. Then you can choose dark mode, because when it's in light mode, the white screen uses more battery than the dark screen. That's why I'll recommend to use dark mode. You can select automatic, so that during the evening time it changes to dark mode, which start saving the battery. You can also choose the options to stay dark mode until sunrise, or you can do custom as well. So brightness settings, if you can keep the brightness low, it will save a lot of battery. If you use a lot of brightness, it uses more battery power. I always keep it less than half. So next one is auto lock. Always try to keep the auto lock to the minimum, so that basically it saves the battery. If your screen stays on for longer, it's going to use more battery. So that's all about our third step. Fourth step is check the battery uses. Go to your settings and battery, and then check which app is using more battery. If you see some app which you are not using a lot, but it's using a lot of battery, that means either it's a very high-end application, like which uses more resources, then I'll try to avoid those applications. Or if you want to use it, but you have to make sure you have to keep in mind that it's going to use a lot of battery. So when you have a low battery, try to avoid those apps. check whether there really is a problem with the battery in your iPhone or iPad, or you are using a particular app which is using too much of resources, like you can say Facebook uses too much of battery even if it's running in the background. Try to close it while not in use. App like Google Chrome uses more battery than Safari. Okay, next step is quitting apps. You don't have to close all the apps. If there is an app which you use most frequently, you don't have to close it. But if there is an app which you don't use a lot, you can close it, because it's gonna be running at the background and it might use a lot of battery power. There are some apps which you use most frequently, like messaging apps, or if there is a apps which you use mostly, keep it open, because what happens is when you close the app and when you reopen the app, it tries to access different resources. The process of getting access to the resources uses a power which might reduce the battery life as well. You can quit the apps like any gaming apps, location based apps, like if you are using any applications for GPS, then try to close it frequently, because if you don't close it, then in the background it's going to be accessing your GPS and use more power than you think. If you are playing a lot of gaming apps, then it's going to access a lot of graphics GPU access, which might kill your battery as well. Sixth step is updating iOS and apps. To check your iOS is up to date, go to General and go to Software Update. Make sure your iOS is most recent. It might resolve any battery or charging issue. Check your App Store and check the updates on your apps as well. See, on mine I have 43 updates on the apps that needs to be done, but I haven't updated it because I'm not using a lot of it. If you have apps which you use all the time, then you should update the apps a lot. You should update it might resolve issues related to some apps using too much of power or warming your Apple devices. So if you keep updating your apps while you are using the application, and if your Apple devices is getting hotter or warm, and if it's using too much of power, then keeping your apps up to date will definitely resolve the issue. Okay, step 7 then, disable Wi-Fi. I recommend, if you are outside your house, disable your Wi-Fi. If you don't do that, what happens is while you are walking around a residential area, your iPad or your iPhone gonna be looking for the Wi-Fi networks, and if you have a settings like notify, it's gonna constantly looking for Wi-Fi networks, and if it finds a Wi-Fi network, it's gonna ask you to join the network. So it's gonna use a lot of battery while doing that process. So basically you can do off settings to ask to join the network, or you can always turn the Wi-Fi off when you are outside your home. This will similar to that, our next step, which is disable Bluetooth. Bluetooth is considered to be a battery drainer. If not using it to connect to a speaker, headphones or any other accessories, make sure to turn it off, because it's constantly gonna be using your battery to try to reconnect to your speaker, headphones or other accessories. That follows to our next step, which is turn off AirDrop. AirDrop is very good feature which use Bluetooth to transfer photos and other files to nearby iPhones, iPad, MacBook, iMac, etc. But it could be battery killer as well. To turn off the AirDrop, go to Settings, General, and then go to AirDrop. At the moment it's with the everyone, it's set to everyone, but if you keep it off, it's gonna save a lot of battery as well. Next step is reduce motion, or try not to use the dynamic wallpaper. I know dynamic wallpaper looks very good, very awesome, but dynamic wallpaper uses a lots of fair amount of your GPU, which for that go to settings and then go to wallpaper. You can see when you go to the new wallpaper, you have got dynamic and stills. Stills are good because stills are doesn't use too much of GPU of your Apple devices. Dynamic, they are live wallpapers, like if you have seen it, wallpapers are basically dynamic wallpapers are like a moving wallpaper or something like that, but which uses your GPU a little bit, and which also uses battery. That is dynamic wallpaper. Try not to use it. And reduce motion. Go for the reduced motion, go to settings and then go to accessibility, and if you go to the motion, so if you put a green tick on the reduce motion bit, it has what it does is reduce the motion of the user interface, including the parallax effect of icons. The green tick on that one, which will reduce the motion for user interface controls that slide in when appearing and disappearing. Basically try to not to use motion, and try not to use the crossfade transition as well. We are halfway through now. Next one is step 11, which is turn off Hey Siri. To go on that, go to settings and then go to Siri and search. So as you can see, if you turn on Hey Siri, what it does is your Apple device constantly listen to your voice, and whenever you say Hey Siri, the Siri pops up automatically. Since it's constantly listening to your voice, it's also using your battery. So this is a big no if you want to save your battery life. Step 12, which is notification center. Go to your settings and then go to notifications. As you can see on my notifications, most of them are off, and you can keep the notification on for the applications which you want to, like any messaging apps. You want to get the notification for the messaging app, keep them on. Any emails, or you can also keep the notification on for particular apps which you think is very important for you. Like for me, for these gaming applications, I don't need them, so turn it off. Basically all the gaming applications which I'm not bothered about, you can turn them off. So getting a notification straight to your screen also uses a lot of battery. Whenever there is a notification, it wakes up your screen and it pops up in your screen as well, and as many times your screen lights up, it's going to use the battery. Next step is turn off iCloud. Go to your settings, and then on top of your settings, you're going to see your name, your device name, and you have Apple ID, cloud, media, purchase, etc. Click on that, and inside there you're gonna see iCloud. Open it up and try to turn off anything you don't need to be synced via iCloud. iCloud uses a fair bit of data and power both. Basically what happens is if you make any changes on your applications, it gets access to the iCloud and then save your settings or new anything you have made changes. It's gonna go and save to this iCloud. Basically whatever you don't want to be saved to the iCloud, just turn it off. It's gonna, if it's on, then it's gonna use your data as well, and side by side gonna use power as well. So it's try to turn off the iCloud for any application that you don't want. Like I don't want any gaming application to be saved to my iCloud, so I'm gonna turn it off. Basically whatever you don't want to save into the iCloud, just turn it off. Okay, so next step is turn off location services. For that, go to settings and then go to privacy. So on the top it says location services on. Basically it accesses your GPS information, most likely like weather apps or mapping apps. It uses most relevant to weather apps or mapping apps. Okay, go to your location services and look at those apps. Let's say for a game, if this is a game, ask next time, or I can say never. I don't want this application to access my location services. I can turn off all the location services for the games. For the maps, I always keep it like while using the app. So while you are using the mapping apps, it's going to use your location, otherwise it's not going to use your location. Rest of all the gaming apps, do never. If you think that you don't need them, you don't want them to find out your location, you can turn it off. Step 15, disable background app refresh. For that, go to settings, go to general, go to background app refresh. For in here I've disabled all the application for background app refresh. If it refreshes, if you are not using the application and if you keep it on, it's gonna refresh in the background and it's gonna use a lot of batteries. But I do keep the background app refresh for my messaging apps so that I can get the message quickly. Next one, disable app updating. To do that, go to settings and then app store. On the top it says automatic downloads. So for these are deselected. So basically I'm avoiding any automatic downloads. It's fine if you are using Wi-Fi most of the time, but if you are using your mobile data and your automatic downloads is on, it's going to use a lot of data and power as well. Next step is avoid uses in extreme temperatures. Okay, all the iOS devices functions best between 0 to 35 degrees Celsius or 32 to 95 degree Fahrenheit. Extreme cold and heat affect battery life, which also result in degrading of your battery faster. Next one is activate airplane mode in low signal areas. If you go to your settings, on the top it says airplane mode. If you are in low signal area, your Apple device will try to find a good signal constantly, which directly affects your battery, which uses your battery to find a good signal. Basically in the background what it does is try to use more and more battery to get the better and better signal. So the best way to save the battery life is to put it on airplane mode so that it does not use your battery at all. Next step, turn off screen time. If you go to your home page and if you go scroll down at the bottom, it shows the screen time at the bottom of the page on your left side. What this screen time does is collects the information about your users and displayed on the screen. It's basically using your battery power for doing all those processes. So best way is to turn off the screen time so that it does not use your battery, it does not use any resources to collect those information and display it on the screen. If you want, finally, our last step 20, is removing the case during charging. Charging your iPhone when it's inside certain styles of cases may generate excess heat, which can affect battery capacity. If you notice your device getting hot when you charge it, take it out of its case first. Basically what happens is when you put your Apple device on a charge, the electrons in the battery start moving around, and while that is happening, it produces a lot of heat. And if your case is thick enough to trap those heat, it's gonna heat up your whole device, which will affect your battery life as well. So if you feel like it's been warming up while you are charging your Apple device, I will always recommend you to remove the case to avoid more damage to your Apple device and battery as well. So guys, those were 20 steps I have collaborated for you so that you can improve your battery health, which will definitely save your battery from degrading quickly, and also you can save that extra bit of battery life to use when you need it. Those were the steps I got it for you. If you think I have missed any tips, please add them in the comment section.
If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section. And if you have enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe below. To keep up with more upcoming videos, hit the bell icon. Have a good time. Until next video, see you then. Bye bye.